Yes, it is an emergency now, and they will be. The population of the world is growing very fast. It's also growing very fast the level of middle class in the world. Middle class as defined by the World Bank, which is not very rich people, but people that get out of poverty, and therefore the consumption of energy, the consumption of food, which requires water, it will increase also, not only to drink, not only to wash, but also to produce food and to produce energy. Therefore, yes, we have to really understand that we are in an interdependent world and all the natural resources have to be shared in a fair manner. We don't have global institutions to organize the water consumption. We do have a convention of 1997 at the United Nations, but that probably will not be enough for the future.
Is there a danger of wars for water?
I hope not, but it is true that fundamental resources have been at the heart of tensions among countries. The distribution of water as far as rivers is concerned, imagine rivers. We have in China probably the region in which more rivers are born that go across the borders of China. To really get an interdependence with their neighbors is fundamental to avoid tensions on so an important matter like water. The same happens in Asia and Central Asia. Kyrgyzstan has water, other countries don't have water, Uzbekistan doesn't have water. To have a good neighborhood policy in order to share those fundamental products is very, very important. The same can be said about the Nile River in sub-Saharan Africa, and that goes up to Egypt. It's also very important. There, another country has been born, South Sudan, which has also needs for water, and so the situation may be less stable, but I think we have to really work very, very hard so that the idea of interdependence is really accepted by everybody, and sharing all these problems is a must. In the coming month, in November, will be a G20 meeting. In that G20 meeting, there will be many things to be discussed. No doubt, the most important one is the crisis, the economic crisis, how we can find a manner to begin growing. But at the same time, all these questions which are global in nature, it will be also treated.
In Europe, Spain has some dry regions, Italy as well.
Well, the situation in southern Europe, closer to the Mediterranean, is desertification is increasing. And not only there, but in the world as a whole in particular, and in Africa, the desertification is growing. The level of land that cannot be used, unfortunately, is growing. I think technology will have to come back. We know that technology can help a lot. Look at Israel, for instance, is a country that has used technology in order to produce more water, to use it better. And I hope very much, talking about Israel, that in the Middle East at large, the question of water will also be concerned as an interdependent problem.
Public control or private control?
Well, that is something that you cannot say at large. I like to say something which I believe. These are public goods. Public goods. Climate is a public good, water is a public good, energy at large is a public good, good organization of the world is a public good, and public goods should be handled with open mind. If that has to be managed privately or publicly, is a second level. But to consider that public goods for the humanity, I think is fundamental, because we will deal with them in a much more sophisticated manner.
And the cost of water?
Well, the cost of water depends also on countries. It's a scarce wood, it's a scarce resource, and therefore somebody will have some kind of of responsibility has to be placed on those who use it. The best manner to, for instance, if we talk about energy, the best renewable energy is not to consume it. That means save it. We are dissipating, dilapidating the amounts of energy, which is the same we do with water. It's a scarce good, and is not used with the care that it should be. Either we do it morally, ethically, or we'll have to put a charge on it.